Just a little update here. I have removed the metal casings on the outside, or actually inside, of these windows. And yes, it has revealed a fair amount of rot. It's probably the worst spot right there. All right, we're gonna call it a night. Well, let's do a recap here. So I took the passenger seat out so I could get to the little paneling that was here, which is actually now sitting right here. So we'll use that as a template. I'm gonna make a new piece. It looks like the bolts that hold the seat base in have been tack welded in there, so I'm gonna have to hammer those welds off so I can unbolt that and take this base out and either repaint it, or the hope is that I can find some more modern seats. Although the retro look isn't so shabby, but you know, they're short seats, so you get some serious whiplash if you get in a wreck. And we took all the edge banding out of this, all the way around here. This piece of wood is super done, so hopefully I'll be able to splice in some plywood in there and make this look good as new. I'm assuming I'll have troubles in these areas because I think they're fiberglass on the back side there. Looks like this is two pieces here. Looks like they kind of have this biscuit piece in here to help it stay together. So when I get another piece of wood in there, I'll remember to use this technique. And we'll probably take this apart tomorrow. Yeah, it does look like this is a 20-gallon. So that's cool. I probably will end up getting a on-demand water heater and put it in there, which I'll have to cut some of the fiberglass on the outside to have an exhaust fan for it, because there is a intake or an inlet for propane under there, and I will use it for a on-demand water heater, because yeah, it looks like that's just 110 only, and for the heat from the motor, which is pretty trippy. I was able to get the hot water heater out of here. Crazy. And yeah, those hoses to the heater block, or to the engine block, are part of the engine cooling system. It's there's radiator fluid in there, so yeah. So it obviously just goes into the hot water heater as an element and not running the water from the heater to the engine block and bringing it back. The potable water anyway is not what went through there. So anyway, but I saw these other 12-volt wires that came through here and came into this compartment under the bed, and I'm thinking maybe there was possibly an electric heater down here, and that's why I still have the heater vents that went through here, but I do not know. But there was something hooked up there. But anyway, something to note. All right, so in a couple days, and we're pulling out the bedding frame here. Pull-out bed, sort of a pull-out bed. Anyway, I took the carpet out there. I guess there happened to be actually a electric furnace in here, or not electric, propane furnace, and that is why that this random 12, well, not so random, 12-volt wire came into this section, and that's why there is a propane outlet in here, because there was also a propane exhaust vent over here, and it looks like I'll get to replace some of that wood. So yeah, there's probably a little unit sitting in there at one point, which would explain why there is actually a couple heat registers in here. I thought the only propane heat source was that, but not the case. Anyway, taking this apart, this one piece was right here, it came out. I will be numbering and taking all those pieces out. And there's 2 cabinet drawers, which would also explain why this one was so it's vented, which made sense to give airflow to the heat source and maybe let air come out. So anyway, this is how it's built. Screwed into the cabinets over here, screwed into the wall back there. Looks like they use staple gun end screws for the bed support frame. Maybe the screws are added on later. Anyway, we're going to take this bad boy apart and hopefully rebuild it good as new. Alright, let's see what the cabinet here looked like before I tear it out. So going underneath here, looks like we have an outlet, which I assume was for the 110 section of the 3-way fridge that was probably in there, or at least assuming there was a 3-way, maybe a 2-way. I don't know if I see, I'm assuming that's a propane line there. Don't know if there was a connect for the fridge. Well, actually, yeah, because that's probably an intake for the air for the fridge for the propane section. And then obviously up here was the outtake exhaust. I don't know what this thing is. It looks like a cigarette lighter. You look over here, just has a plug in it. So anyway, assuming it is. And we have the 110 line going up under here for the outlet there. We have all sorts of lines going here. Obviously some electric. So that might have been a 12-volt feed to the fridge. And maybe some water lines going over there. Yeah, it looks like some water lines going up to the sink there. Some excess hoses here, which we'll find out what that's for. Looks like it might be the hose for that. We'll find out. So unscrew this bad boy and get her taken off the wall. Get this stove out of here, get the sink out of there. And yeah, keep tearing this thing apart. Woohoo! Well, I went a little crazy today and destroyed some cabinetry here because I think I'm going with a cubic mini wood stove. I'm going to put here and then go through the ceiling here, and hopefully there's enough space that it won't melt that. Maybe let's put some metal up there to deflect the heat. But anyway, let's get a little tape of this cabinet because I do want to rebuild this one. Maybe build it to this point and not all the way out here, but we'll see how big the cubic mini is. Probably will want to go all the way back to this base, so bring it back a bit. So yeah, this is what it looks like. We have these 2 pieces here and along there. That's the handle on the back door. And so it's probably good to tear all this out because I'm sure there's mildew. And we'll redo all that as well. So there we are. Alright, ripping out all the electrical. I see that this cord here is coming up from underneath, possibly from the van alternator or something. And it's going up into here, and right to there. So I'm going to snip those there. So hopefully figure out what those are for. Remember it anyway. I snipped all the 12 volts. This one also comes up from underneath. It might be, I'm not sure what it is either. Just an overview of what we got done today. Pulled all the paneling off the walls back there and just set that back in there. I'll use that as a frame. Probably won't use that exact frame. I don't know. We'll see how well I can clean it up. And if there's any rotten wood on the back ends, I'll either just complete it and using that as a template for from scratch, build a new one or whatnot. So a little bit of wood paneling left behind that pipe back there, but whatevs. This feels like it's fully laminated to a sheet of plywood, so this paneling's just gonna get the nail holes and screw holes filled in. I don't know if I'm gonna need a thermostat here, because I'll probably just get a wood stove, but we'll find out. Anyway, so got all that done there. We're starting from scratch on the electrical. Got that panel out there, then bolt the seat. We'll figure out if I can get all of that out, or if I have to cut it and splice in a new piece, because most of that does have to come off. And just cleaned up stuff here. Water tank there. Hot water heater was there, but if I get another hot water heater on demand one, I'll try to fit it right there so I don't have to cut another hole in the side. I'll probably have to widen that one up, but it is what it is. Here's the electrical doohickeys just sitting there. I'll be taking that apart and scrapping that piece. Got this all cleaned out. Did a sweeping in here. So yeah, semi-important chunks up there for templates and whatnot. So there it is.